Starting 7th on the grid in car number 69, the 88 winner here, Reggie Ruggiero out of Fortsville, Connecticut. Then in the number 8 slot in car 77, Stephen Park out of East Northport, New York.
Starting in the 9th position, car number 75, Carl Pasteryak from Lisbon, Connecticut, and a two-time winner of this event in 81 and 86, George Kent, driving car number 21. He starts 10th.
Then in the 11th spot in the U2, the man who has been the bridesmaid here many times and the runner-up. Look for him to give this field a run for their money. Jamie Tomano, the current point leader on the NASCAR Tour for the Modifieds out of Howell, New Jersey. Then in the 22, starting in position 12, Greg Sachs, who was the 82 winner here out of Mattituck, New York.
Starting 13th is a second-gen.
The 99, starting 15th, Tim Ayer. Next to him on the outside will be Dan Giovanelli in the 12. He's out of Hampton Bay, New York.
Bob Park in the 19 from East Northport, New York, starts 17th. And the 44 car, Rick Fuller, one to watch here. He starts in that 18th position. He hails out of Auburn, Massachusetts.
Starting 19th in car number 70, Sergey Fidanza out of Lockport, New York. Then in the 32, position 20, John Preston out of Wyalusing, Pennsylvania.
Starting 21st in car number 16 is Wayne Anderson from Yaphank, New York. And George Brunholzel, also a former winner of this event back in 1987. He starts in the 22nd spot, driving car 28.
In position number 23, car 52, Ron Shepard out of Appalachian, New York.
Out in front in that number 1 position, he's from Williamson, New York. He has had all of his modified tour wins coming right here in the state of Pennsylvania. Also, former winner Mike Stefanik, who won last year, he is the current point leader in the modified standings, the NASCAR modified standings for 1991, and he is also the 1989 champion of the modified division. A couple of other drivers passed away. Al passed away in 1974. Since then, his son
way over that
never raced anywhere but up here. Some of them are making their first start up here, so experience is going to play an important factor here. We're getting set for the start of the 41st annual Race of Champions here at Pocono Raceway. Jan Lady brings them down, anticipating the green. Joe Gerber is out in front, the initial starter, and we are underway. As 51 mighty modifieds head down into turn number 1. It looks like a good clean start as they all racing through turns 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway. Your early race leader is car number 25, Jan Lady. Car number 8, Jeff Fuller, picks up that second spot as they are coming through turn number 3 and 4. This will be lap number 1 of the 250 laps to be completed, and your race leader is Jan Lady in the 25 car.
That's Jeff Fuller in the 8. Immediately behind him as you get a good look at some of the finest in modified equipment making its way down the front straightaway.
A lot of dicing action. You'll see plenty of this as these guys all trying to get a good position and hopefully finishing that number 1 spot. Right now they'll be chasing this man right here, Jan Lady. He has been fast all weekend long. Car number 25, he ran sensational in this event last year. He finished 3rd. He is looking to go all the way and capture the victory here in this very prestigious event. When you have won the Race of Champions, you have definitely added something to your career. Leaders off that 4th corner, it's the number 74 car. I believe it may be Frank Slater Jr. Indeed it is, out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in a Cavalier. He started back at 49th position. And I'll tell you what, that was kind of close for Jan Lady, who was your race leader, because he had come off that 4th corner, and it's a little bit of a blind spot down there because these cars are very low to the ground. Jimmy Spencer, who's a 2-time NASCAR modified champion, does a lot of his racing. That was Paul Spencer, does a lot of his racing here in the Northeast, including Evergreen Raceway, which is located about 30 miles from this particular raceway. He was a guaranteed starter in this event through a qualifying race that was held earlier in the year. Many of these drivers having preferred and guaranteed starting spots because of such events that are held throughout the year.
We are under caution. The caution came out for a spin down in turn number 1 by Frank Statler in car number 74. As you get a look at your race leader, that is Jan Lady. As the cars continue to move under caution, we're going to take this opportunity for this brief word. This is the Race of Champions from Pocono International Raceway.
Single file restart off that 4th corner. We're back underway, and it's Jan Lady in that number 25 car. Really making some speed down there as they head through turn number 1. And there is the 25 car leading over the 8 of Jeff Fuller. Lady out of Williamson, New York, Fuller from Auburn, Massachusetts, both driving Chevys as they are going through turn number 3 and 4. They'll be coming now off that 4th corner and through the home straightaway. This is the 11th time around. And you see the string of mighty modifieds again.
And we
a
have
lot
a
of dust and debris kicked up in turn number 3.
Second caution of the afternoon, and that caution caused by a spin between turns 3 and 4.
Of not just the winners themselves, but the amount of talent that has been able to qualify for this prestigious event. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really a who's who of modified stock car racing over the years, and many of these people have progressed to even Winston Cup careers and just been some of the top performers in the Eastern Short Tracks.
We're getting a good look at the capacity crowd that has formed here for this 41st annual event. This event up here, by the way, at Pocono was also staged a few times on the big 2.5-mile super speedway, and after about 1980 they decided to put it on this 3/4-mile oval. It's been there ever since, and it's worked out quite nicely.
It really goes back to the roots of this particular race. The 2.5-mile oval is really not in keeping with the grassroots format that the race started with, and it probably is much more at home on the 3/4 mile than it would be on the 2.5.
One thing you might want to point out about the race of champions, Paul, and as we're watching car number 25, Jan Lady out of Williamson, New York. I want to mention about Jan here in the state of Pennsylvania. All of his modified tour wins have come right here in the Keystone State. The green flag is back out, and car number 7Y making a nice move down into turn number 1. He picks up that 2nd spot. That was Tiger Tom Baldwin as he is racing for position. We're watching the rest of the cars come across the start-finish line. Now we pick up your leaders down the back straightaway. Lady leads, but Baldwin has done a nice job to pick up that 2nd spot. Jeff Fuller falls back to 3rd position, and running in that 4th spot is car number 15, the current point leader in the NASCAR modified division this year. That's Mike Stefanik, and he is also the defending race champion of this event. Of horsepower under the hoods of these modifieds, with over 650 horsepower being produced by these engines on these open wheel stock cars. And here comes Jan Lady off that 4th corner. He goes wide and takes the high side down the home straightaway, and he brings a host of cars with him as they're all pretty much running the same line at this time through that 4th corner. And now he begins to pull away just a little bit to a comfortable lead through the back straightaway over Tiger Tom Baldwin. And there's a good close-up shot. You can see he is really motoring that car around here.
Dino, the black flag is about to come out for someone here. And it was for Tom Baldwin in the 7 car as he pulls into pit lane.
We'll try to get a word on exactly what happened to him. This is a NASCAR sanctioned event. The caution is out right now. The caution is out on the raceway.
Heck happened on the last lap?
We run over some debris and cut a right rear tire down, David. Just a 1/4 of a lap away from victory. Not much you could do about it.
1 year later, at the 1991 Daytona 500, the man they voted most likely to win, Dale Earnhardt, saw the chances for his first Daytona 500 victory spin out of his sight. Another heartbreak for Earnhardt, another test for the new Dale Earnhardt.
As we are watching these cars coming at full throttle out of that 4th corner now, heading through turn number 1 and 2.
Cars here able to...
Is there any particular way you can save the tires out there?
Not really. It depends on the compound you're running. I'm sure they're all running hard compounds.
And right now, running very hard, as we mentioned, that is Jan Lady, car number 25, as he remains out in front with close to 30 laps complete in the 250 laps that are scheduled here. Car number 8, Jeff Fuller, remains in that 2nd spot, and they have been nose to the drop of the green flag here. Coming off the 4th corner now, they will be completing lap number 29. It'll be 30 laps next time by. Then it's the 15 of Mike Stefanik and the 69 car of Reggie Ruggiero. He's Northeast Regional Champion and also a former track champion at Spencer Speedway in Williamson, New York, his hometown, and also the Shangri-La Motor Speedway in Owego, New York. And as I mentioned before, the state of Pennsylvania also been very kind to him. All of his modified tour victories have come here, again at Jennerstown. And earlier this year, his first one was back in 1985, by the way, at Jennerstown when he finished ahead of none other than Jimmy Spencer. And then this year at Nazareth, Pennsylvania, the modifieds made their first stop at that 1 mile Roger Penske facility, and he came home the victor there. He has also won a qualifying event at Evergreen Raceway, which is in St. John's, Pennsylvania. Here's another host of cars. As you will see, a lot of side-by-side racing. That's car number 57, that green and white car. George Ross Jr. out of Neptune, New Jersey, driving that G and White sponsored car. That car is owned by a couple of local businessmen out of the Hazleton, Pennsylvania area. And right now he is behind the number 19 of one of the Park boys. That's Bob Park, who has been a longtime campaigner on the tour, as well as making many stops here in the Race of Champions from East Northport, New York.
These cars turning lap times here in the upper 20s. That's quite quick to get around this 3/4 mile oval. As slower cars told to move over.
Yeah, that was what we were just seeing there. The flagman down there giving the move over sign to a lot of these cars, as lap traffic is starting to play an important factor in this thing. It will throughout the event. It's starting to get pretty much strung out here. We've seen a lot of green flag laps run thus far. That good tight battle in the back of the pack here. These cars are all running in the top 20 right now, as a matter of fact. That other car in there, that number 32 machine, is in there with the 57 of Ross and the 19 of Bob Park. As we are watching them dicing side by side down the back straightaway. Jan Lady continues to set the pace here in the 41st annual Race of Champions. Again, this is the second to set the pace out there. And there you see him going around one of another slower car. That's the 23 car, I believe, of Jerry McGee Miller. He's known as Mr. Mopar throughout the Allentown area, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Longtime campaigner. That's a particular guy. He's been driving since the age of 5 when he started in quarter midgets. Been around for a long time. Jerry Miller is down there. Tom Bowles.
Tom Bowles out of Vernon, Connecticut.
Excuse me, that's the 78 car. Pete Koch from Mountaintop, Pennsylvania, in a Cavalier-bodied car. Started back in 47th position. He is out of harm's way, but the caution is now coming out. With 47 laps complete, we have a car that has spun right down on the entrance to pit road. We're watching the 78 car of Pete Koch, but the caution is for actually a car that has spun. There it is right there. I believe that is the
Al Emarino out of Smithtown, New York.
Car number 9. He races up at the Shangri-La Raceway. As a matter of fact, he just won a feature event 2 weeks ago to close out the season up there at Shangri-La.
Get a look at our race leader. We are under caution at Pocono International Raceway. This is the Race of Champions. Back in a moment. Again, Mike Stefanik in that number 3 slot. Last year's ROC winner here at Pocono. Talked to him in the pit area yesterday, and he felt that his chances were very good. There you get a look at the 15 of Fuller. Jan Lady through turn number 1, heading down the front straightaway. 51 laps now completed.
Here's all the front runners have worked their way back to the head of the field.